Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, US city volunteers organized a tea gathering for Hurricane Sandy survivors who brought their bamboo coin banks to reciprocate city's love. As electricity demands are higher in northern Taiwan, we see how the government sends excess energy from down south and why it may be risky in the long run. And we meet Yan Yujing, who suffers multiple disabilities but manages to complete 2 degrees in college. In the United States, 6 months following Hurricane Sandy, New York City volunteers continue to care for Sandy survivors. Recently, volunteers organized a tea gathering in Brighton Beach off Brooklyn, where they handed out aid supplies and cash cards to needy families. Inspired by the volunteers' devotion, the recipients also bought bamboo coin banks to donate.
Though it has already been 6 months since Hurricane Sandy, city volunteers continue to tend to the disaster survivors. Recently, New York City volunteers made numerous phone calls to invite former cash card recipients to attend a tea gathering at Brighton Beach of Brooklyn.
Since it's been 6 months, many mental issues raise up. We also set up what we call a wish wall. They can write it down and whatever they want in front of either Buddha or what they traditionally believe.
I feel good, so good, because they're all human beings. We all work together. We are Muslim, but they are Buddhist, so we are all our family. This is a different country, like we came from other country. So this is all, here we all are family. We all are one family.
In Brooklyn, most residents have refurbished their waterlogged houses or apartments and are now once again leasing them to others. However, the costs generated from the refurbishment have been added to rents, putting such housing out of reach for many low-income households and illegal immigrants. Therefore, volunteers prepare foodstuffs and $300 cash cards for 307 families. At the distribution site, many recipients bring their bamboo coin banks to donate to Tzu Chi.
We were once disaster victims. Thank you for providing us with timely assistance. We want to help other people as well.
We donated a bamboo coin bank because we acknowledge what you have done for the needy. You have helped many needy people like us. Though there are many difficulties ahead, the most important thing is that we are still alive.
Many survivors were taken under the wing of Tzu Chi following the disaster, and inspired by Tzu Chi volunteers' love and dedication, the seeds of love have started to flourish inside communities statewide.
Thailand is a country with a long history of Buddhism. Therefore, every year the country holds various events to commemorate the birth, enlightenment and the passing of the Buddha. On May 24th, a Buddha Day ceremony was held in Nakhon Pathom, in which over 70 Tzu Chi volunteers took part.
To celebrate the birth of the Buddha, a Buddha Day ceremony is held at Nakhon Pathom, Thailand. This year, Tzu Chi volunteers are also on scene not only to pay their respects to the Buddha, but also to assist the Dharma masters in collecting and transferring offerings given by the members of the public.
Today, I'm in charge of collecting offerings donated by the general public that will later be given to the Dharma masters. I'm filled with tremendous joy because I didn't spend any money to receive this happiness.
As 90% of Thailand's population is Buddhist, the Buddha Day ceremony each year attracts many people. This year, Tzu Chi volunteers are also on scene to provide water and tea to participants.
Every year, many people will come and volunteer, but this is the first time we have had volunteers serving cold tea. The herbal tea was nice and cool.
Tzu Chi volunteers not only attended the ceremony, but also helped the Dharma masters collect offerings. They also provided water to the general public and practiced recycling.
Volunteers also seized every chance to introduce Tzu Chi to participants. Among the volunteers was 69-year-old Ton Sun, who took a day off from work to volunteer.
I am very happy to be able to volunteer. Next year, I will invite my friends to join this meaningful event. This time, I took many Tzu Chi brochures because I want to introduce Tzu Chi to even more people.
Through the Buddhist event, the volunteers not only put Tzu Chi's humanistic spirits into practice, but also inspire participants to join their ranks.
In China, Shanghai Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to Suqian, Jiangsu province to hand out scholarship aid to over 200 students. Under the love and care of volunteers, the students have formed their own volunteer team at school, with some even continuing to volunteer after graduation.
It takes around 6 hours to get from Shanghai to Jiangsu province's Suqian city. These 29 Tzu Chi volunteers bring with them not only financial aid for students, but also personal love and care. Even the torrential rain from the day before could not prevent the volunteers from making the trip.
I asked my teacher if we were still coming today as it was raining hard. After I arrived here, I realized unselfish love really exists in the world.
Over 200 students are receiving a much-needed scholarship aid of 1,500 renminbi, while the teachings of the Jingsi aphorisms have also inspired compassion in each student's heart.
Before, I would always ask for material goods, but now I feel remorseful for my actions towards my uncle as he has been doing his best to raise me.
Tzu Chi has been assisting with the Spring Blossom Project, which helps needy students continue their education for over 10 years now. Teachers also formed a Spring Blossom volunteer team in which young volunteers assist in winter aid distributions.
Students might miss class when they volunteer their time, so this causes a bit of setback in their studies. However, everyone overcomes this obstacle by spending extra time on their own.
Liu Yan, previously a scholarship student, is now at Siqing and giving back to society.
The more I do it, the more people I meet, the more people that like me, the happier I am.
In passing the love forward, hope is unlimited.
As a large percentage of Taiwan's residents live in the northern part of the island, energy demands there regularly outstrip the amount that regional power stations can supply. Therefore, for years now, the government's solution has been to send excess energy produced in the south of Taiwan north. Although the plan so far has been successful in satisfying the north's energy needs, the power highway is at continual risk from natural disasters. Here's more.
Behind me is the Xihu Fruit and Vegetable Market, one of Taiwan's biggest wholesale fruit and vegetable markets. From here, fruits and vegetables from Taiwan's central and southern regions get sent to feed the residents of northern Taiwan.
This is exactly what happens in Taiwan's electric grid, with the percentage of electricity produced here in the south of Taiwan sent up north daily.
In cheaper areas, such as in the south, where the power stations are quite large, since the costs are lower, they produce more energy than they need and then send the extra up north.
Northern Taiwan accounts for 40.2% of total consumption nationwide, but only produces 30.4% of the total power. Therefore, it depends on the extra electricity produced by power plants in the middle and south of Taiwan to meet the region's needs.
There's the number 3 nuclear power plant, the Dalian power plant, and the Xinda power plant. The excess energy produced by these plants is first collected at the Longqi plant in Tainan, after which it will be sent to the Zhongliao substation before being sent north.
On its way from southern to northern Taiwan, the electricity passes through electric towers and underground cables. And exposure to the elements always brings with it the dangers of breakdowns and power outages. July 29, 1991 at 11 p.m., electric tower number 326 in Tainan's Zuozhen district toppled over following a landslide, leaving 8.5 million homes without electricity.
The repair was estimated to take 15 days in total, and the crew we had on location worked fast. But until they finished, only the south of Taiwan had power, while the north was faced with a blackout.
Also in 1999, following the 9/21 earthquake which damaged the Zhongliao substation in Nantou County, the north of Taiwan was on electricity rationing for close to 2 weeks. Over the past decade, Taiwan has been through 65 instances of electricity rationing. In order to prevent further occurrences of power rationing, the government has allowed the building of power stations by private interest, as well as built new power stations in the north, including the number 4 nuclear power plant and the Taoyuan Datan power plant. However, Taiwan's energy needs are increasing by 3.6% per year, which means that by 2023, the extra power produced in the south will no longer be sufficient to meet the needs of northern Taiwan. This means that a dialogue on how we get our energy and how we use it will be one worth having in the years ahead. The recent discovery of starch-processed food laced with malaric acid has the whole of Taiwan worried. Many of the affected foods such as tapioca balls, tofu pudding and oden are all very popular and are enjoyed by citizens on a daily basis. To help consumers satisfy their cravings safely and vendors get their business going again, Taipei's Department of Health is inspecting the city's shops, and anyone who passes the test will receive a malaric acid-free sticker.
In light of industrial starch found in food products, Taipei's Department of Health is inspecting the city's 465 vendors who sell tapioca rice noodles or one of the other 6 commonly found types of starch-processed foods. About 50% of the shops have already presented lab reports that indicate their products are not laced with malaric acid.
Among the 465 vendors who sell one or more of the 8 types of starch-processed foods identified by the Department of Health, 244 of them have voluntarily shown that their lab reports have come back negative.
The department has provided a list of 5 laboratories that can screen and test samples submitted by vendors. If a vendor can safely pass the city's inspection, they will receive a malaric acid-free sticker that is easily identified by consumers.
If all products pass our inspection, then we'll provide the vendor with a sticker like this one for them to display publicly.
Because we have quite a stack of lab reports, somewhere around 30 to 40, so we just post a notice here. The reports and regulations are filed properly. At the customer's request, we will present them for review. We will not publicly post all the reports.
Come June 1st, the department will carry out a second wave of inspections. This time, more starch-processed foods will be included, such as zongzi and tangyuan, as the city works to help keep citizens safe.
In Taiwan's new Taipei City, Xizhi District City volunteers have been hard at work promoting recycling to the younger generation by teaching students at local schools ways to sort recyclables after class. Qingshan Junior High School joined the efforts last November and has since saw an increase of their paper recycling from 800 kilos to 1,200 kilos.
Here in Taiwan, New Taipei City, students at Qingshan Junior High are taking the opportunity to recycle their old reference books before summer starts.
After city volunteers came, our paper recyclables increased by 20 to 30%. It is not because we have created more trash, but because we have increased efficiency in collecting and sorting recyclables.
Qingshan Junior High also has an elementary school department. Since Tzu Chi's arrival last November, many students have become a helping hand to Tzu Chi aunts and uncles in further categorizing recyclables.
After the children learn to categorize trash here, they will take the concept home and influence their parents. If we inspire 2 or 3 out of 10 families, and these families in turn motivate more to recycle, then I believe the purpose of this program will be achieved.
The man who brought Tzu Chi and Qingshan Junior High together is Xizhi Junior High's principal.
Under Tzu Chi's assistance, Xizhi Junior High's recycling efforts are very successful, so we are happy and thankful that Brother Chen brought Tzu Chi's conservation efforts into our school.
This semester, Xizhi Junior High School is learning at the recycling station. The next semester is Qingshan Junior High.
The recycling effort during break isn't just about protecting the planet, but also about inspiring change in the younger generation.
Staying in Taiwan in Pingtung County, 54-year-old Mr. Liu once lived in a damaged home. Due to a stroke, Mr. Liu is unable to work and has no means to fix his house. Thankfully, with the help of city volunteers and construction workers, his house was transformed into a new, fully equipped home.
In Pingtung's Gaoshu Township, along with construction workers, city volunteers are here today to install an insulated roof for Mr. Liu. Meanwhile, construction workers fix the floors and paint the walls. The renovation cost is not cheap, so Mr. Liu is unable to afford it. Thankfully, after assessment, city volunteers decided to provide financial assistance to give Mr. Liu a safe place to call home.
He told me that he doesn't want to live in a nursing home, so we tried to help him fix his damaged house. We were able to fix his house with the help of Mr. Liu's siblings.
After the makeover, Mr. Liu now can live in a comfortable and fully equipped house. The volunteers thoughtfully make sweet rice balls to celebrate the occasion.
This house is great for Mr. Liu to live in. It's very comfortable and clean.
During the housewarming party, Mr. Liu sheds tears of joy.
I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much.
To reciprocate Tzuji's love, Mr. Liu signs up to become a Tzuji member as he hopes to help those in greater need.
City volunteers in both Taiwan and Indonesia are holding events to advocate blood and stem cell donation. In Taiwan, city volunteers in Hsinchu and Taoyuan travel to school campuses to encourage local communities to donate stem cells, while their counterparts in Indonesia also held blood donation campaigns in 3 separate locations. Here in Indonesia's Jakarta, Teguh is a little nervous as he's donating blood for the first time. Knowing this is an opportunity to save lives, the man even takes time off work to participate.
I was a little afraid, but after the blood started transferring, I felt alright. It wasn't painful. We should help one another. Today I'm given the opportunity to help, and I should seize the moment. I hope I can help those in need.
As the blood donation campaign is set up in a shopping mall, passers-by do not shy away from giving a little of their love. City volunteers also seize the opportunity to introduce the Buddhist NGO to the public. Love can also be seen pouring in at Tanjung Pinang, Rao Islands, where city volunteers are holding their first ever blood donation campaign.
Saya merasa senang karena bisa mendonor darah, dapat membantu ke.
I'm really happy that I can help others by donating my blood. I was a little bit scared, but after donating it, I realized it wasn't dangerous at all.
Moving to Batam, city volunteers there also organized an event inside a shopping mall to promote blood donation. In a few hours' time, nearly 200 signed up to donate their blood.
Bagikan tentang apa yang kita dapatkan di Tzuji supaya
We hope local residents can better understand all of Tzuji's missions, so we actively share with anyone our experiences in the NGO. We hope to attract more to join our ranks.
It is through saving the lives of others that we add meaning to our own lives. In Taiwan, city volunteers in Hsinchu made their way to school campuses to advocate stem cell donations.
When we see young people, we will ask if they are interested in participating in our blood donation drive. Whenever we find someone, we will be happy and feel a sense of accomplishment.
The friendly attitude of the city volunteers attracts many students, and after the volunteers' detailed explanation, many decide to give a little of their love.
朝周边写。
我觉得很重要的事情就是
What I think is important is that if a patient has completely lost hope, and this, our blood, is their last hope, then why not give a little of our love? It won't do us any harm.
In Taoyuan's Daxi, over 100 members of the public arrived at Tianxing Elementary School to take part in Tziji's event.
I'm grateful to Tzi for giving me the opportunity to take part in this event.
I hope a little act of love can go a long way to helping those that need bone marrow transplants.
The selfless giving spirit of these residents brings hope of a better life to all those in need. Recently, Taiwan's first ever handicap accessible radio station, Fly Studio, was opened. The station is located at Danshui Cultural Park and was especially designed and equipped to meet the needs of those who are physically challenged.
老师，我想请教检察长，DJ 天使是什么呢？
This is Tzu volunteer Xu Jifeng, who won a contest held by the Fuxing Broadcasting Station and was selected to become a DJ at the newly established Fly Studio. Although a first-timer, Xu says he hopes to use his voice to do good deeds.
Through the radio, I can use my voice to help those suffering find an outlet for their problems.
The Fly Studio is the first handicap accessible radio station in Taiwan, located at the Danshui Cultural Park. From the outdoor field to the radio station, every corner was designed to meet the needs of the physically challenged.
The table, machines, and computers are all designed to meet our physical needs. My hands are disabled, but I'm able to control these machines freely and easily.
In spite of their physical conditions, here those with physical disabilities can fulfill their wish of becoming a DJ and helping others in need with their voice.
请揭幕，来热烈掌声。
In Taichung, we meet Yan Yujing, a sufferer of multiple disabilities who overcame her physical conditions to complete 2 degrees in college and is pursuing a master's program this year. Yan's story goes to show with determination and hard work, anything is possible.
In Taichung, Taiwan, lives Yan Yujing, who suffers from multiple disabilities and relies on an electric wheelchair to get around. Unable to speak clearly, she uses a communication board to get her point across. Due to Yan's curled fingers, typing is a difficult task. However, with determination, she overcomes her handicap and successfully graduates from college.
A Chinese major has a lot of papers to write. She can't type like us. She uses one finger to type. At times, her neck stiffens up. Yan often studies late into the night and rises early the next day, as she has to work harder than others to accomplish her studies. But she never once voiced a complaint, as she is optimistic and loves to make friends. She likes to make friends. This actually is pretty shocking to us, as normally people are not that confident. Her personality shows that she just looks different from everyone else on the outside, but is on equal terms. This year, Yan was accepted into a master's program. She hopes to be independent and not be a burden for her family. In spite of her disabilities, Yan remains optimistic and looks forward to the day when she completes her master's program. We end today's program in Malaysia. To mark the 20th anniversary of the Buddhist NGO in the nation, the Tzu Malacca chapter organized a 3-day event, which included the photo display of Master Zheng Yan as well as an exhibition of Tzu's missions. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.